Dear students of class 8A and 8B, welcome back to my history and civics class. Today's points, as I mentioned in the board, please look at it. Here there are certain points. Point number 1, my topic is rise of British power in Bengal. Rise of British power in Bengal. There are certain points, as I mentioned in the board. Point number 1, the advent of British Company in India, the advent of the East India Company, the Carnatic War, first Carnatic War, second Carnatic War, third Carnatic War, conquest of Bengal, and finally the Battle of Plassey. Now, first point, the advent of East India Company. You know, the British came to India as traders, but the British did not come to India to trade with our country before the Portuguese. It was Vasco da Gama, the famous Portuguese explorer, who discovered the sea route to India, and hence that incident opened the door to Portugal, to trade with our country, according to which the Portuguese established their trading centers in Goa, and later on they extended their trade to different parts of India. The Portuguese was followed by a number of European powers, European states. The Spanish, the Armenian, the Denmark, the French, and the British. But finally, the Dutch and the Spanish traders ceded way to the French and the British, which led to a stiff competition, fierce competition for monopoly of trade in India between the French and the British, and led to the Carnatic Wars. How many Carnatic Wars there? There were 3 Carnatic Wars broke out between the French and the British. The first Carnatic War. Now I am going to discuss about the first Carnatic War. In the year 1744, the British suddenly threatened France in India, but actually confrontation took place between these two powers in Europe. In the year 1744, the two powers of Europe, France and England, fought against each other. That wave of anger raged towards our country, India, according to which the French threatened, according to which the British threatened the French that they would occupy Pondicherry. Only during that but during that period when they were threatened by the British, Dupleix was the Governor General, Commander-in-Chief of the French Army in India. Dupleix felt very much insulted, and without giving any notice occupied Madras. But Madras fell in the hands of, Carnatic state, and Anwaruddin was the Nawab of, Tamil Nadu, Nawab of Karnataka. Naturally, France requested Nawab Anwaruddin to recover their territory, Madras, from the control of the French. Anwaruddin sent a group of soldiers, but they were defeated by the French. Finally, the British had to sign a peace treaty with the French, and then the First Carnatic War was ended, and the French returned back the territory of the British, Madras. But within few years later, the Second Carnatic War also was taken place. Now, what was the main reason the Second Carnatic War took place? Number one, on the question of war of succession between two kings of India. In Hyderabad, the British supported Nasir Jung, while the French backed Muzaffar Jung. Similarly, both of them supported the they supported the candidate against each other. As a result of it, the Second Carnatic War took place. The Second Carnatic War took place between the French and the British. But during Second Carnatic War, the British force defeated the French forces. But one peace treaty was signed between the French and the British. Dupleix was the military commander of French army, was called back to France. Now, Third Carnatic War. What was the reason the Third Carnatic War took place? The Third Carnatic War was taken place since the British wanted to monopolize their trade in India. They wanted to not only monopolize their trade in India, but also wanted to become the sole political power in India. That's why they did not want to allow the French to be a part of Indian politics. As soon as the Third Carnatic War took place, the British once again defeated the French. All the factories in India which were captured by the British were returned back to them, provided the French would be forced to utilize it as trading centers but not political centers. By way of doing this, the British monopolized their trade in India and proved themselves to be the master of Indian politics. The next point, my dear student, one question may arise in your mind: why I am teaching in this way? The posture of standing is towards the door, facing the door of this house, of this room. Why is this? Because one plug is there, and there is no charge in my mobile, so my mobile is getting charged. That's why I am teaching you from this left corner. Please don't take it otherwise. Anyway, the next point, my dear students, one question: the Carnatic War. Why the war is known as the Carnatic War? The war is known as the Carnatic War since most of the wars between the two powers of Europe, the French and the British, took place in the present day states of Tamil Nadu. That's why these were the three wars: the first Carnatic War, the second Carnatic War, and the third Carnatic Wars are collectively known as Carnatic Wars. The next point, the conquest of Bengal. The conquest of Bengal. You know, the British received one farman from Farrukhsiyar, Mughal Emperor Farrukhsiyar. According to that farman, the British obtained the right to trade in India without paying any taxes. So the British East India Company from the very, very beginning had been utilizing their power through the farman issued in the name of themselves. But after the death of the Nawab of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, Alivardi Khan, his grandson Sirajuddaulah decided not to allow the British trade without having any tax. The British was less interested to pay tax only because of that farman issued in their name by Mughal Emperor. But there are certain factors which forced Nawab Sirajuddaulah to raise hue and cry against that system. The British not only was misusing the power of the farman, but also making Bengal to be their political center, and were trying to take part in different political situations so that they must take any opportunity. Nawab Sirajuddaulah knew it. That's why did not want to compromise with the British East India Company. And asked the British not to fortify their fort at Fort William in Kolkata during that time, Calcutta. The British already had established themselves to be rich and prosperous traders. That's why they started to fortify the Fort William beside the river Bhagirathi in Calcutta. As soon as Siraj-ud-Dowla came to know that what was going to be happen was nothing but a challenge against his authority by the British, Siraj-ud-Dowla attacked. Siraj-ud-Dowla took an expedition for Calcutta, reached there and captured Fort William. The Britishers left the fort and temporarily a peace treaty was signed between the British and Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla, the Treaty of Alinagar. But what things should have been done, according to me, by Siraj-ud-Dowla? Siraj-ud-Dowla should have arrested the British who challenged his authority and started the work of fortifying the fort, the garrison of British East India Company. But far from doing it, Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla signed a peace treaty with them and then left Calcutta for Murshidabad. Only because of that reason, the British considered Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla to be a weak Nawab. And under the special care of Robert Clive, they started plotting against him. On over, all the nobles, zamindars, rich traders of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa against Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla, which resulted in, my dear students, the Battle of Plassey in the year 1757, 23rd June. And in that very battle, Mir Jafar stood with all his soldiers like toys, and all the soldiers who were under Mir Jafar, they had been eagerly waiting for the instruction of him, since he was the Commander General of the force of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla. Mir Jafar remained silent and was watching of the situation, whether he should join Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla or British East India Company. And finally, due to some technical mistakes of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla in the Battle of Plassey, British East India Company won the battle and Siraj-ud-Dowla was captured and finally executed. Up to this, my dear students, this is what I taught today, I explained today, the points. Please keep it in your mind, and all of you got yourself prepared for the final exam. Within very few days, I shall send you the syllabus of final exam. You please watch your tenor. Thank you, my dear students. Thank you so much.